Hey, you murder phoniacs. This is your host, Tony Ciaglia, the serial killer whisperer. You
Sorry.
okay? You okay over there?
I forgot to get my chair up.
Okay.
I'm good. All right.
All right.
How about that little sneak preview live to these people? Behind the scenes secrets.
It's pretty awesome.
With a little help from my friend Scott.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome.
And Ella. She gave us the idea, which was good. Thank you, Ella. In the Philippines.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you guys all had a great Labor Day holiday. Mine was good, except for I pulled my groin muscle and it's hard to walk.
Dancing, right?
Dancing. Maybe sex didn't help it.
Go.
Serious though,
Yeah, I better have a talk with your girl.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it, honestly.
Did she really body slam you and stuff like that? Throw you around?
Stop it. Come on, you're making me sound like I'm submissive. like I'm David Gore or something in the Fred Waterfield relationship. As promised, today we're going to pull another one of Gore's tragic stories into the light. One that was never counted in their official body tally.
Ugh.
Yeah. There's no way of pulling that into the light.
No, there certainly isn't.
That's dark.
Yeah.
Real dark. But through my work, and through my book, The Serial Killer Whisperer, a cold case found its voice. The story of Rose Two Trees, a daughter who vanished, a mother who never stopped searching, and a confession that came straight from the killer's own hand. Okay, everybody. All right. Guys, let's be honest with each other here, all right? We've known each other for a long time now, right? A long time. I mean, you know all about my sick perversions. You know all about the cocksman. Well, most of us, I'd have to say we're on a first name basis. So let me give you some advice on a first name basis. The serial killer whisperer is one bad fucking read. You can either check it out at any library or purchase it on Amazon. That's the quickest way to get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in our library, they're all gone. Stolen.
Stolen?
Stolen.
Oh, that's pathetic.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe
really?
It could be a badge of honor. I mean, they're all stolen.
Gosh.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Well, before we bring Rose's story out of the shadows, we're turning our spotlight on Fred Waterfield. Now, this motherfucker, the so-called good old boy, he's the good cousin, they say. Well, what kind of rating system is that fucking on? If he's the good cousin.
Man.
Mm-hmm. The one his family still clings to as innocent. As if decades of blood, pain, and evidence were just some big misunderstanding. Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
Some big misunderstanding. Boy, it's a shame. It's a shame these two were ever born. And it's a shame going all the way to the beginning. Angela Hommell.
Yeah.
It could have all ended.
I know it.
Yeah. All right, guys, but here's the truth. Here's the truth. The mask is about to come off. And trust me, it's not going to go back on. We're going to let Angela Hommell, the girl who survived him, speak for herself. Her voice, her words, her horror. And if that's not enough, we're going to drag Fred's partner in crime, hillbilly number 2, David Gore, into the conversation. Gore didn't just whisper the truth. He screamed it. So, to Fred's family, if you're still hanging on to that fairy tale, and that's all it is, Dad, it's a fucking fairy tale.
I know.
Of innocence, strap in. Yeah, strap in. Just like they strapped your cousin to the fucking gurney and put that right in his vein. Yeah, David Gore. Just like they strapped him to that gurney.
Yes, they did.
This is part 12, you guys. This is part 12 of slipping through the cracks of justice. Ghosts beneath the orange grove. Because the bodies may be gone, but their screams still echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the introduction. Let me get a little bit of a...
Who are you introducing?
The man of the hour is who I'm introducing. Mm-hmm. You know, Dad, there's so much anger and hate in the world today. It's a shame that our children, not me per se, I mean, I've done what it takes to make lots of children, but I don't have any children. But like, say, for my brother's children, they have to grow up in this world.
It's tough.
It is tough. But we can look at it on the bright side. I really hope people who watch us can benefit from witnessing the greatest love and respect a father can have for his son and a son can have for his father.
Yep.
Love you.
I love you too.
My co-host, who happens to be my dad, my hero, my best friend, and yes, the one and only Coxman. Oh, he also goes by Al, if you don't know his name. I mean, depending on the situation and where we were at and stuff.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome, Dad.
Beautiful. Let me tell you something. For Tony to be here and be on, and you've heard me say this, anybody that watches the show has heard me say this before. He struggles, unfortunately, depression. And depression has been rearing its ugly head recently.
The last 4 days.
And yesterday was a really bad day. I didn't know this, but last night was a really, really bad night. Yet, the consummate professional. Here he is. Because I asked him today, I said, we can always, call Scott, maybe do it a different day. And he said, no, there's no reason they have to suffer like I suffer. Because if they don't see me today, they'll all be down in the dumps.
I never thought about it that way.
But seriously,
it's been bad.
It's been bad. So
really bad.
I take my hat off to you, buddy.
And then this weekend, with the growing, the muscle, it reminds me every time I take a step.
Yeah.
Or each time
that hurts. Stop. Stop it.
Take a pump. It's tough.
Thank you. And
it's tough.
How did the Coxman stick? I mean,
the Coxman?
I mean, we're talking about, we're going back to what, 2018? 2019, I think we started it.
Who made it up?
You. Who else? Who else?
Oh.
All right. So that introduction, believe me when I tell you, he's been through to hell and back. So for you were up late, weren't you?
I wrote that at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, bud.
I love you too.
Thank you. You're the best. All right. And the opening was also chilling, guys. Really chilling. Because I know what's coming. And standing in the background of Angela's suffering was Hillbilly One, Fred Waterfield, the so-called good boy from Vero Beach. But there was nothing good about him. Behind the mask was pure evil, a predator every bit as sadistic as his cousin David Gore, and in many, many ways, even more dangerous. And after many years, this asshole is still trying to get out. Just think about that.
Unbelievable.
Still trying to get out. Just listen. You're going to hear him, and you're going to hear the man that prosecuted him.
All I'm trying to do is get a record. If we've got to go back to Indian River County and hold these hearings all over again to create a record, that's what I want. I want to clear my name. I don't want this hanging over my head. I'm sorry things didn't turn out differently. Why didn't the truth work?
I never had any doubts in my mind about Waterfield's involvement. My conscience is clear about what I did in that case. I think he got a break when he wasn't sentenced to death, and he needs to stay where he is the rest of his life.
You know what? Really? I can never I'll never be able to wrap my brain around this. Because, I've had several serial killers tell me the same thing. It's like they go out and they fucking rape and they slaughter a woman or whatever,
Yeah.
And they harvest the body. Here, I'll never be able to wrap my fucking head around the fact that they go home and they're like, hey, honey, come here, give Papa a kiss and grab the children. We're going to go to McDonald's. Because that's where they're all through. They're going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're not going to pop for a fat burger. That's for sure.
No, I agree with you.
I cannot
100%.
I cannot get my brain to understand how they do that. I know you could say they're a sociopath or they're a psychopath, but it's like, gosh, still.
I know. And what you just saw, if you're on YouTube, we saw the picture of Fred, fucking deranged maniac.
He looks like a maniac.
And we put up the pictures of his two victims, Barbara Byer and Angela Volley. They were the only ones he was convicted of. He was convicted of Lynn Elliott, but he only got 15 years for that. But then they finally looked into the two little girls. They were both 14 years old, Barbara Byer and Angela. And they caught him because he went and bought gas right by where they were kidnapped
And
from.
you know, if you
And
look
he
at
was signed the receipt.
if you look at these girls, Dad, the two you just named,
Yeah.
they look every fucking day of 14 years
Yes.
old. It's not like they could say, "Oh my gosh, David, I
looked
could have
older.
sworn that they were 18." She looked 18, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So check it out on YouTube and you'll see this guy's exactly the way you described him, Tony. Anyway, Angela's attack was never a tragic accident. It was a neon warning sign flashing in blood red, a glimpse into the true nature of Freddie Waterfield. A predator dressed up as a good old boy, a manipulator who treated women like prey, a sadist who thrived on their terror. You heard Angela. You heard her say it. He was only happy when he was torturing women. And now, decades later, this asshole still thinks he deserves a do-over? Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Piece of shit. You heard him begging for a new record. I'd like to put a new record on him. And maybe he'd cease to exist. He's just a piece of garbage.
Did he really use the word do-over?
No, he didn't. I used that.
Okay.
But he did use the word new record. I just want a new record. I don't know why the truth didn't work. It did work.
That's why you've been in jail for over 30
but
years.
The truth that Gore told didn't work because he told everybody that you were involved in everything, but he couldn't prove it. But you fucked up, didn't you, Mr. Gore? I mean, Mr. Waterfield. I'm so used to Gore. Anyway, then you heard Bob Stone. Now, he prosecuted them both. They had separate trials. Prosecutor Bob Stone laid it out plain and simple. You heard it on the tape telling Fred exactly what he should be grateful for. And trust me, it's not freedom. He should be grateful that he wasn't laying on the gurney next to Fred or next to David when they popped that needle in his arm.
Hey, come on over here. I think we got a vein.
Yeah.
We got a fucking
we got
vein.
one. We got one. So you heard Bob Stone. He was perfectly happy with where Fred ended up, and he should remain there for the rest of his life. You see, we don't sugarcoat things here at MurderPhone.
No.
We expose them.
For what they really are.
And David and Fred, prime exhibits. Fred being exhibit A, that piece of shit. All right, let's hear what Angela had to say about the dynamic between those two assholes.
Inbred. Fucking inbred at its best. And I'm serious, Dad. If you want to, dive into research on what inbreeding is all about, these two fucks.
It's there, right?
It's there. Yes.
Inbred.
You were there. You're the only person we know that was around with two of them that lived.
No. It was Fred was the leader and Dave was the follower. But you could really tell Fred snapped his fingers. It's almost like Fred will say something and how high do you want me to jump? To please Fred. Gore was a pleaser. And they both must have had low self-esteem because I tell you what, Fred, his brain is warped. Okay, and I think the only way that he could feel good about himself was when he tortured women, when he was torturing women.
David was the cleanup guy also. Fred didn't care about that stuff.
Oh, I kind of figured that because I believe Fred was going to pull the trigger on me. Okay?
Right.
But then he would have had David cut me up and feed me to the gators.
And that's what he did to Judith K. Daly.
Okay? So, yeah, I knew because he referred to him to the butcher.
You know they make love to farm animals too. Got to throw that in there. You know it. Like a nice sheep or a goat, you know? I could see Fred holding the goat down and David is behind the goat. Come on, Freddie. Come on, let me pump it in. Let me get it in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, though, hold on. Let me say this. This is perfect. David Gore, he wouldn't even have to use any lube on his sheep because remember, he gets them women so hot. They get so
That
wet.
was so disgusting.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't it?
Oh.
I wonder if Quentin Tarantino studied The Killing Cousins when he made Pulp Fiction. Do you remember the scene with the Gimp and the two hillbillies?
What a
and
scene.
Yes. Come on, he's sweating. It was just like David Gore.
Come on.
Just the way Angela described it. Oh, God. Quentin.
What a scene that was, right?
That was.
Oh.
It's a great movie.
Uh-huh.
All right, dude.
All right. I'll take over.
Okay.
All right. Angela Hommell didn't just survive an attack. Right, Dad?
Right.
She survived Fred Waterfield. She survived David Gore. And because she lived, we get to hear the truth from someone who was actually there. I love these little like microphone things. You get like little fuzz in your mouth.
Did you?
It's great. It reminds me of like when I used to go down south in high school on ships.
Stop.
Okay. Sorry. Brain injury takes over sometimes.
I know.
Mm-hmm. So, because of Angela Hommell, we actually get to hear an account of what it was like being there during an assault and surviving these two ass faces. Angela makes it clear. Fred was the leader. Right, Dad? Come on, do it. Do your law enforcement move. He was the leader. He was the fucking captain. He was the fucking captain in charge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And David Gore, he was nothing. He was nothing but a sidekick.
Yes, sir.
He was Fred's lackey.
Yes, sir.
You could hear it in the way Fred barked out orders, she said. And David obeyed like a trained dog, desperate to please his master. Gore wanted to be useful. Fred wanted to be worshipped.
Amen.
Together. Unfortunately, two assholes like this meet each other.
Yeah.
They happen to be family, for crying out loud.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Together, they made one of the most dangerous duos in the history of American crime. Just like the two cousins, Bianchi and Angelo
Bono.
Fucking Fred's twisted brain. It was beyond repair. The only time he felt powerful, like you just said a second ago, he only felt good about himself when he was torturing, raping, and murdering women. That was his drug, you guys. That was his fix. And Gore. David Gore. He was the cleanup man. He didn't have the brains or the presence to call the shots. His job was to carry out Fred's sick fantasies and make the bodies disappear. Angela knew it. Angela knew it. She felt it in her bones. She believed Fred was the one who was going to pull the trigger that night. And she believed David Gore. I don't know, every time I say the word David Gore, it just like a hillbilly accent comes out. She believed David Gore was going to chop her up and throw her into the swamp, feed her to the gators. Just like they did with Judith K. Daly. God bless you.
Yeah.
Fred even had a name for Gore. He called him the Butcher. Think about that for a second. The leader. That's right, the captain, the kingpin, the fucking leader, the mastermind. I don't know how much of a mastermind he was, though.
No.
I mean, we're talking, they weren't the smartest too, were they?
No, they weren't.
Okay. The mastermind gives his partner in crime a nickname like that. The Butcher. And it sticks because it's true, because that's what David Gore did time and time again. Angela, though. Boy, I admire you, Angela.
So do I.
Your strength, your courage. Fuck those assholes. Yeah, that's right. Fuck them. I bet you were unbelievable in court when you looked at those two cocksuckers straight in the eye. Bet you winked at them. And David Gore, no, and Fred Waterfield said, I'm gonna fucking get you, bitch. And then you looked at him and you said, enjoy your time. That's how I see it going down.
I hear you.
You know, that's how I see it going down.
I hear you.
Oh, boy. Angela lived to tell us what kind of monsters we're dealing with here. And that's why her words matter more than anything Fred Waterfield's family has to say about his supposed innocence. Fucking morons.
Yeah.
Can you see his family?
No.
I hope they're fucking listening to
I know,
this
and that's
too.
why we're covering it, right?
Yeah.
They said they would kill her if she ever interrupted. Well, yeah, she interrupted them once at the gas station, Fred's gas station. And they had a girl there, and they were all ready to do their thing. And she brought them lunch. And David, in his letter to Tony, said that they had to stop. And he said that they made an agreement that if she ever did that again, they would kill her, too. This is the...
Oh, my God. Then why... Who is helping him getting all these websites and all of that?
It's his family. I mean, they don't believe any of this stuff.
What you're about to hear are fragments from David Gore's own letters.
Fragments.
Tony and I are going to read them to you. And the letters tear away the mask of Fred Waterfield's family, the one that they just keep trying to hold up. The bullshit about a new record, all the other crap that keeps coming out. Because here's the truth. Gore knew. He knew that Fred's family wasn't blind. They weren't clueless. They knew exactly what Freddie was. And yet, unbelievably, they still fight to set him free. Think about that for a minute. Knowing full well the kind of monster that this cocksucker was, what he did to Angela, what he did to other women, and what he planned for his own mother.
Yeah, hold on. She probably deserved it, though. Just saying.
Well, it sure sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The family still clings to this fantasy that Fred was some misunderstood soul. Well, David Gore has something to say about that, and his words will leave no room for doubt. This came from a letter dated September 9, 2009. You know what? While I'm thinking about the letters here, we had talked about the 3 letters here. The first one Tony ever got, the Missy story, and this is the Rose. And those 3 letters, because that started the communication, and I think these 2 got him executed. But I'm thinking about the letters. There was so much information. We showed you the books. He only wrote, what did you write, from 2008 to 2012, right? There had to be at least 300 letters.
At least. You're the number man.
At least,
you know?
300 letters. But it came down, I think, to those. And I think they cooked him.
That sealed his fate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is some of the information that he shared with Tony. This is a letter dated September 9, 2009. Fred, this is David talking. Fred never got emotional with girlfriends. He was pretty mean to them and could not love them.
Gee. That sounds about right, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. When he found out that he was the product of an affair, that pretty much killed him on an emotional level. Sorry. He was really mad about his mom conceiving him out of an affair.
She should have aborted him, Dad. I mean, if there's
I'm sure she wished she did. Right?
If there's any argument about abortion, fucking Fred Waterfield is the argument.
He's the poster boy.
Poster boy.
And he wanted payback, Freddie boy. David said, I'll let you know why it got to the point that we'd kill his mom. And believe me, there was good reason. No, there isn't good reason. There's no reason to kill a mother. I'm sorry. I mean, it's sick.
I'll agree.
This is back to the letter. This is David. You should have heard some of the conversations we had when we were together. And believe me, there was absolutely no one off limits for us.
How about that?
No one.
Fucking
Capital letters.
Hillbillies. Oh.
Now he says, I totally agree with you on my cousin. He can deny all he wants to. You know, the thing is, the people who defend him the most know his dark side. His sisters, his mother, they were all victims of us. By the way, Fred previously had raped his older sister. Not David's older sister, his own sister.
Hold on, what do you think about that?
That's disgusting.
What if she's really hot?
Stop it.
It's bad. What if it's a stepsister?
Just stop.
Stepsister?
You sound like David Gore and Fred.
No, but what about a stepsister? Because, I mean, they're not, biologically, connected.
Stop it.
Okay. I just have an argument. I have an argument.
Stop it.
I have an argument.
By the way, Fred previously had raped his older sister. So she fucking knew what he was capable of better than anyone. It's crazy. But they have to do what's best for themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Hell, his mother used to flash him and I both when I stayed over.
Oh,
That's because you're so hot, David.
Stop.
Yeah, she's so hot.
I got a comment.
Remember she used to wear transparent,
yes,
blouses with
show her
no bra
tits.
on, no bra, yeah.
Yeah. which, I mean, all is fair. I mean, that's horrible for Fred. But for David, that could be a positive. If she's hot. I mean, if she's hot, that could be a positive. If she's not, well,
How about this? You think this is hot?
What?
Fred used to say, I bet you'd like to get your mouth on those, huh? Yeah, he did. It was in another letter. He used to say that to David. Oh, boy, I bet you'd like to take those into your mouth.
Nice.
Motherfuckers. It's hard to laugh at this shit, but you have to or you're going to go crazy.
Mhm.
And if she knew what had been planned for her, she might not be so supportive of Freddie. The only reason the plan wasn't carried out is because we were arrested. But if we'd not been arrested, well, let's just say she would have been done. You'll love this. I think because of the way he and I were, that really bonded us even closer. Him and I had a long list of potential targets that we would most likely have gotten around to. We would spend hours upon hours discussing who we wanted to get and how we were going to do them.
Can't you see these two motherfuckers sitting there?
Oh.
Talking shop. They're talking shop is what they're talking. Sorry, I had to get her up there. You know, this letter is dated November 18th, 2008. You know, you're absolutely correct when you say Fred always seemed to weasel out of things. Like I said before, he did that pretty much on everyone. At the time, I didn't really see it that way because I kind of liked having time to myself with the victims. It wasn't until I was here on death row and working with my lawyers when one of my investigators pointed out there was a pattern where after Fred got his enjoyment, he seemed to leave, and it was up to me to clean up. Then when I started thinking about it, he knew exactly what he was doing. It's true hindsight. 2020, and looking back, it's clear to see how definitely always left himself a way out, if needed. I'd be the one holding the bag, which is exactly what happened with Lynn Elliott. But like with Missy, I was so caught up in the moment, it didn't dawn on me. When I was arrested, the cops really didn't know how much my cousin Fred was involved. I guess when he ran after the kid's sauce, he figured no one would know he had been there. So when the girl that survived told the cops he was involved, you bet your ass they picked him up. Well, Fred's family rushed to his place of business and literally cleaned everything up. We had this Ford Econo van at his shop that he had bought. It was what him and I did all of our hunting in. And we had fixed it up inside, you best believe it. We fixed it up for capturing victims. a couple of months before we were arrested, we used this van to get 2 young hitchhikers. I think I told you this before. Barbara Byers and Angel Lavallee. Well, Freddie's family cleaned it up before the cops were able to put 2 and 2 together and impounded it. If they had gotten to that fucking van before his family did, they would have found all kinds of evidence. Now, Tony, you see, we kept a sports bag in one of our compartments with our capturing tools. Rope, tape, handcuffs, leg irons, dildos.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Dildos? What the fuck
Give
does
me your
that have
thoughts.
to do with anything? Capturing tools. Dildos.
No, right?
No, the dildos were driving the fucking van.
I know.
That must have been what he's referring to.
Sounds like my girlfriend's night bag or something.
God. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
dildos. What the fuck?
Well, you know what?
Will you pull it down a little? If it's,
You know what
Yeah.
it is?
There you go.
You know what
There
it
you go.
is? It's from last night's. It's from last
Please.
night's rendezvous.
Stop it.
You know, though, the dildos, they were for hurting. They were for putting maximum hurt on my victim.
He said that, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
You know who he said it to?
Hmm.
Think. Who was his best friend in prison?
Ted Bundy.
Yes, sir. It was in one of the letters.
Mm-hmm.
18-incher.
Gosh.
It was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So sick. I'm sorry. We're getting off. Go ahead. His capturing tools. The fuck.
So after dildos, he wrote knives, extra ammunition, and lots of different cord and rope. In the very back, we had a bed that was built on top of a box. So you picture that. You got the bed on top of the box with lots of space underneath. We could lift the mattress up and put 2 adult cunts under it in the space. You'd never know that compartment was there unless you lifted the bed up to look. In fact, we put several cunts under there while we transported them. Oh, yeah. We transported them to a secluded place so we could do our thing. After a successful hunt, we'd go over it with a fine-tooth comb to clean it up. I was in law enforcement, so I know how to clean up. Could you see him with the badge?
Oh, he had one.
Mm-hmm.
This fuck.
Unbelievable.
He knew how to clean up.
Fred, you see now, Fred owned this barn that he converted into a repair shop. It sat on the outskirts of town, so there were very few people around. You could open the wide door like a garage door and drive right in and close the door behind us so we could drive inside to unload our catch.
What?
Without being seen.
What? What catch? What, were they fishing? Unload our catch.
You love it. That's hillbilly terminology,
Oh,
though,
my
Dad.
God.
That's hillbilly jargon.
It's unreal. Well, we really
Yeah.
wanted you all to hear this. I mean,
My
It's
girlfriend
just
used to use that word catch a lot because she's a kind of hillbilly at heart. You know, she's from a small town in Oklahoma.
what
But
if the door got kicked open and she was standing there?
with a knife, with a knife, right? Fucking
Yeah.
a kill kit. Yeah. Yeah, she used to use that word like catch. And I would say, honey, we got to find a different word to replace that. There is no way Fred's family could have cleaned that garage and van without knowing Freddie was involved in everything we did. I just can't believe they still keep defending him. All right, you guys, this is from the book that you're going to go buy, The Serial Killer Whisperer. It's not your average true crime book. It's actually good. Yeah, it's really fucking good and darker than anything you've ever read.
And this is just a small part of the story. I mean, in the book, it tells the whole connection between Sarah and her daughter.
Yeah.
But this was great the way you minimized it for the show.
Took fragments.
Fragments of it, yes.
Mm-hmm. She was young, vulnerable, and already carrying the kind of scars most people never recover from. Rose two trees. Her father died when she was only 3. By 8 years old, she was already drinking. And by her teens, she was drunk more often than she was sober. Not good.
Man, bad.
That's a
Yeah.
equation for disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Pregnant at 15, but the baby never made it. She argued constantly with her mother, Sarah. She ran away more than once, always chasing something, freedom, just trying to escape, maybe find peace. At 18, she left home again, this time with a bus ticket her mother had bought to keep her safe. Rose was supposed to visit a friend in Fort Lauderdale. On April 15th, 1980, Sarah spoke to her daughter for the last time. Rose never arrived. What happened on that road? Well, I have a letter from David Gore himself, where he tells me in his own words what really became of Rose Two Trees. And you know, when I'm reading that right there, it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah.
But then when we hear David Gore tell us about what really happened on that road, you know, what he did to her and stuff, it's like,
How does it even happen?
yeah, it's, oh no, he doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Not at all. Letter dated 11/18/2008. Dear Tony, at the same time, I heard that my cousin Fred did an interview where he was laying all the blame on me and that I framed him. I guess he thinks it might get him out, but they will never let him out. He knows what he did. And I can tell you he's just as guilty as I am and should be sitting here on the row with me. We had an agreement that if we got one by ourselves, we would immediately call so we both could take part and do it together. Let me put it this way. Fred was always just as eager as I was. And Tony, you were asking if I'd share a case of mine that I was never charged with. And I have no problem with this. You know I'd done do it for you. And you know, Tony, I realize that each of us have our own personal fetish. And what attracts me may not attract everyone else. In most of my crimes, the hair was the determining factor. I'll be the first to admit I was obsessed with one's hair. Oh, that's creepy. H1 lost her scalp. In every case, while they were tied up, I'd play with their hair, running my fingers through it. In the Old West days, Indians were obsessed with taking hair. An Indian warrior status was determined by how many scalps hung from his belt. You know, one of my favorite ones was actually a full-blooded Indian girl. Sort of ironic. It was in 1980. Gosh, Rose was getting scalped in 1980, and my brother was being born in 1980.
Yeah.
Joe kind of looked like an Indian, didn't he, when he came out of Mom? He was really dark. Pretty crazy. Maybe he
it
was
was the little feather on his head.
Yeah. Exactly. And the doctor was trying to make him pee, and he started going,
Maybe that's when he's got the fetish.
Who, David Gore or Joey?
Joey.
He does, doesn't he?
Come on, let's go.
Okay. I'm sorry. It was in 1980, and I used to hang out at this 76 truck stop a lot. I knew everyone there and even helped out at times. Mr. Helper. There you go, Dad. Well, one night this Indian chick rode in with this trucker and stayed. She just sort of hung out at the truck stop, and I had my eye on her. She had this really long, dark hair, like a typical Indian. She was a bit on the chubby side, though, and short. I did not care about that. Well, there used to be this little bar right across the street from the truck stop, and this chick would hang out at it. Well, this one night, I'm over there, and we're drinking and carrying on. Then her and I started drinking together. And she was plastered. I suggested her and I go to another bar. And she agreed. We got into my car. And to be honest, I probably could have screwed her. But I wanted her hair. So we're getting ready to leave, and she lays her head on my shoulder. And in just a few seconds, she's passed out. I could not have planned it better. I had already knew that she was just a drifter and no one would really notice her gone. So I drive her to my grove, where my trailer was, and I stretch her out and I cut off all of her clothes. She was out cold, but I had a club to hit her with if she started to come to. Like I said, she was a bit chubby and had this fat pussy with a thick, dark mound of hair, and her tits were on the flabby side. She really wasn't one to look at. So I got on her and screwed her limp-ass body. That's right. I made it mine. And let me say, screwing a girl who's passed out, it really ain't no fun. I started focusing on her long hair. And I have to say, I'm in this state of lust. All I'm wanting to do is take it off. She starts moving a bit like she's gonna come to. So I turn her over and tie her hands behind her back. I decided to have some fun. I did this to several of my victims. When I had her tied, I actually showed her some hair. I didn't have to tell you how freaked out she was. Then I ran my fingers through her fucking hair and whispered how nice it was going to look up on my wall. It would take a minute for it to register what I was saying. And then she absolutely went nuts, bucking and screaming. I just laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. And she would scream louder, but no one could hear her. That's the part that's just so transcending nobody could hear her. I let her scream, though, and scream. And all the while, I was running my hands through her dark, beautiful hair. Then I sat, straddled on her, and I choked her until she was lifeless. I rolled her chubby little ass over, got me a handful of hair, pulled her head back, and began slicing until the hair came loose in my hand. Then, for the next couple of hours, it was just about taking care of my trophy. And then the disposal. Now, I know, Tony, when I describe things like this, it may seem like it was just a walk in the park. And simple and all. But nothing could be farther from the truth. All of this takes everything out of you. Physically and emotionally. Afterwards, woo, you are spent. The fantasy is a whole lot more sensual than the reality. Take care, pal. Your friend.
David. Okay, here's a short part from Tony's book, The Serial Killer Whisperer, when Tony makes the call to Rose's mother, Sarah. Despite the decades that had passed, Sarah Two Trees recognized the name David Gore immediately when Tony called to discuss the letter the killer had sent to him. She listened intently as Tony read portions of the letter aloud. And I just want to clarify, folks, that Sarah was not read the full letter in its entirety. Of course not.
No.
But I wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. You know, she might have said she wanted to hear it, but she didn't want to hear it.
No,
I had to
didn't.
make that decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then carefully, Sarah removed a yellowed Miami Herald newspaper clipping that Rose's friend Jessie Swimmer had mailed her in 1984. Now, Jessie Swimmer was the girl in Fort Lauderdale that she was supposed to go and see.
Mm-hmm.
She had kept it tucked in her Bible all these years, examining it closely. She confirmed it was the same story. This Gore, she asked quietly, did he ever mention Rose by name in his letters? No, Tony replied, not by name. He only described how he had picked up an Indian girl at a bar near a truck stop after she had been dropped off by a trucker, and then he killed her. He said she was small, no chubby, and that they had gotten drunk together the night he murdered her. Sarah's voice trembled. When I first saw that man's name, I think I already knew he had killed my Rose, but I didn't want to believe it. That letter you read, it tells me it's time to believe. I know she's gone. Because Rose's body was still missing, it was impossible to confirm with certainty that she was the woman Gore described. He had never spoken her name, and every detail of that night remained circumstantial. Yet for Sarah, there was no coincidence. He did it, she said sadly. Tony hesitated and said, you can't be sure. Sarah said, I'm her mother, her voice soft but firm. I just feel it. For the first time since Rose's disappearance, Sarah felt a profound sense of calm. When you read that letter, she said, my daughter was telling me it was her. I think she sent me that message because she wanted me to know before I died. Perhaps it was the final wish of a woman weakened by cancer, racked by years of guilt over a troubled relationship with her daughter. Perhaps it was simply an elderly woman's desperate need for closure. Regardless, Sarah said with quiet certainty, I know now. Tears flowed as Sarah spoke, and within moments, she was coughing. Thank you, she said, her voice coming between gasps for air. Thank you for telling me what happened to my Rose. Without waiting for a reply, Sarah continued, Rose is in heaven, and I'm going to be with Jesus and her soon. I can tell her I'm sorry then. We will not argue now. 4 days later, Sarah Two Trees died in her sleep. A friend found Sarah's Bible next to her, but the Miami Herald article was no longer tucked inside. Sarah had finally gotten her answer and had thrown the article away.
In a letter dated 5/24/11, which was only about 10 months before his execution, David responded to a question I asked about Rose. You asked if that one girl that I got at the truck stop was named Rose. I thought about it, and I'm pretty sure it was Rose or Rosie. It was a long time ago, but that name, it just sure jogged my memory. I'm about 90% sure that was her name. But you know, she was simply a squaw to me. Signed, creepy, smiley face. Oh. That's a wrap for today, guys. I don't know if you've had enough, but I have. I know he has.
Yeah.
You know, we've walked through the shadows with Fred Waterfield and David Gore, watching the cracks of system that let monsters slip free again and again. But we're not done. Next time, Hell's Timeline, the final chapter. Thank you. Good. I don't know about you, Dad, but I've about had enough of these shitbags.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
So next time, join us for the final chapter, Hell's Timeline. We'll take you through a roadmap of blood and betrayal that began in 1973, but should have ended in 1976, when Angela Hommell courageously reported her rape. Instead, David Gore and Fred Waterfield were set free, and the bodies kept piling up. That timeline runs until 1983. And you just think about when it should have stopped.
I know. 7 more years.
When their reign of terror finally crashed down. And at the end, Angela will have the last word. Reading the letter David Gore wrote to her just before his execution. A predator's apology, his final words to the girl who survived him. Don't miss it. Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
This was a great episode.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you. You made it.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you. God bless you.
God bless you.
As always, take care, stay safe, and always walk in the calm after the storm.